And throughout your career, if there was one year, what was the most amount of money that you ever made in a single year?
A little over $1 million.
That's incredible. If you were to go back to when you were in either high school or college and you're having a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what is the best piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
Wake up early and go to class.
Yeah.
No, I think having a sense of what gives you passion, what takes energy away, and then follow your passion.
I love that. And what has been the importance of following your passion for you throughout your career?
It made me a very successful hospital administrator doing something I love and
Right.
made a big difference in a lot of people's lives.
Yeah. So were you a business owner?
No, I ran hospitals.
That's incredible. What led to your success to be able to work your way up to run hospitals, during that time?
Being street smart, always taking a perspective that you can learn something every day and not be too full of yourself.
And you hear people talk about a lot, street smart versus book smart. There's a lot of confusion around street smarts. How can someone really obtain those necessary street smarts that leads to success?
I tend to think people are born with a sense of right and wrong and knowing how to always do the right thing.
Wow. And I wanted to ask you, but what was the best financial decision that you ever made throughout your career?
To go to graduate school.
Where'd you go?
I went to George Washington for grad school and Cornell University undergrad.
And why would you say that that was your best financial decision?
It was an expensive thing. I worked my way through school, but it paid off handsomely.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, how can someone really start their path to becoming financially free in today's world? Whether it's a skill set, a mindset, something to obtain when going out into the real world, what are you seeing that's really setting people apart in today's world?
Live within your means. My philosophy early on, I had a mentor early in my career who said, live on what you made 5 years ago and invest and bank the rest.
Right. And you brought up investing. Where do you think people should, when people are starting to, make money in their careers, they're starting to save, put money to the side, where should people really look to invest and put their money to kind of grow? What have you done? What have you seen that's made other people successful?
Well, I've seen what other people do. They buy real estate. As they say, they've only made so much real estate, so buy well. What I do is, again, live within my means and try to just make smart decisions.
Wow, that's incredible. How long have you been golfing for?
Well, I started when I was 14, 15, but I didn't play at all when I was from graduate school for my first 20 years of my career.
Right.
Because I was just working, and then whatever time I had, I spent with my family, raising kids.
Yeah.
Golf is fun to do, but I'm not a big golfer.
Right. But how important have relationships been to you throughout your career?
Well, relationships are key. I mean, you get things done through other people, and making contacts and making connections and figuring out sort of how to navigate your way through the world. And there's lots of different paths, obviously. I tend to think living around a golf course is overrated or having no skills. I mean, because it's just a game.
Networking is something that a lot of people do struggle with. How have you gone about finding, whether it's mentors or building those relationships? What would be your advice to someone who is kind of struggling in that department of their life?
Always appreciate that anybody can help you out. And it may not seem plausible in the moment, but just being true to everybody, being a good person, being authentic, that carries. And people like to be around those kind of people. Yeah. And so just find yourself in those types of people. And when you realize that you're maybe with not necessarily a bad group or somebody that doesn't have the same value set you do, don't hang with them.
My final question for you is, what do you typically look for when you're investing in a company that tells you, hey, this is someone I want to invest in? Or maybe not even just company, but people in general. What are the traits that you look for when you're investing in someone or a company? What are those main things that you look for?
Honesty, integrity, follow through, and intelligence.
Wow. That's amazing. What do you think is the best industry that people should be looking to get into in today's world? I know you were in kind of healthcare and maybe medicine, but if there's an industry right now that you think is getting ready to take off, what would that be?
Well, we live in the time of tech and artificial intelligence is key. Again, I think you should just do what you want to do and follow your passion, and things will work out.
Absolutely.